I just can't, praise the Lord, say this enough. This ain't about no likes or views, but a perspective and viewpoint. I spoke at my mother's funeral, December the 21st, 2011. The last time I spoke with her was on my birthday, December 12th. And she was found deceased, face down dead by my sister and my niece. They were going over to take her out to eat and found her dead, December 16th, 2011. The last conversation we had, she said, "Thank you for being a good son." And I said, "Ma, all the hell I caused and rigmarole when I was in the streets and trying to be Billy Bad Blank and Bad Leroy Brown and a street pharmaceutical specialist and drug dealer and a baby gangster." And she said, "Yeah, but you joined the army and you righted the ship and you got yourself together." She said, "Thank you for being a good son." That was the last time I spoke to my mother. 12/12/2011, my birthday. 11 months later, my baby brother was found dead, 43 years old, in a nursing facility, assisted living facility. And that was November 2nd, 2012. Buried him on the 10th of November, 2012. And a year later, my 51-year-old brother died of a massive coronary on Christmas Eve. I'm sitting here just numb. 10 years I've been blessed of our Father to shovel Mother Betty's sidewalk and put salt down and start a car at 3:30, 3:45 in the morning, rushing to get my car cleaned off and warmed up. And I remember the first time I met her, she had a hand over her throat and she was shoveling. She was so tiny, and I came out to "Ma'am," and she looked up to me. I said, "Why y'all here this cold?" She said, "Because I'm the only one that can do it." She had a hole in her stoma. And I told her she'll never, ever shovel again as long as I'm your neighbor. And she said, "I can't pay you." And I smelled something cooking. I said, "What's that cooking?" She said, "I'm cooking Christmas cookies." It was the winter of 2011, excuse me, the winter of 2010. And I said, "I'll tell you what, you pay me in cookies, and I'll shovel your driveway and back deck and sidewalk and front door from now on." And she said, "Deal." Sweetheart, 4'5" or 6. She might have been 80 or 85 pounds. And if your parent, your mom live alone, how can you sleep so well? Your mom is tucked away in this warehouse of death. A nursing home is what I refer to them as, because I go to them so often just to sing a few hymnals and read a few scriptures and try to prayerfully encourage them as they sit there nodding and sleeping in their wheelchairs. Defecation, urination smells everywhere. If your mom or your dad live by themselves, please check on them. So I heard that slam on the door like somebody threw a ball or something and hit the door. It was a palm. I didn't know it. Opened the door. She was standing there bleeding so bad from the neck, and it was hitting my feet. It was hitting my front door, the sidewalk, my welcome mat. It just sounded like water. It was just gushing. And I've seen death and bleed outs before, but not to this level and extent. I mean, she had a hand over her throat, and I went to grab her throat, and my whole hand just went into her neck. And so I scooped her up, and I didn't know who it was. I had on underwear, and I was standing behind the door to look around, because nobody knocks on my door. Nobody comes over here. Nobody, stops by. And I live so remote. I live on the Illinois-Wisconsin border. And so when I opened the door, she said, "Help me." And I said, "Mother Betty, what's wrong?" And the blood was just profusely running over her fingers and down her chest and her little gown and her legs and feet. And she fell, and I called her. And I just scooped up, and I just took off running. I ran to my next door neighbor. He's a Vietnam vet, and he just freaked out when I'm kicking the door. He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Paul, help me, Paul, she's dying, Paul, she's dying." And he opened the door, and he just turned white. He's in his 70s. He just fell back out into his refrigerator and stove, and he was shaking so bad. And something told me, go up on the highway. And I turned around, and I ran a few feet up to the highway and started screaming. And a police officer was passing by, and he went to his highs on top of his vehicle, and he got out with his flashlight. And I said, "She got a stoma." And it was so deep is that same police officer I saw yesterday morning at the gas station. And he saw me. He said, "Whoa!" And I turned around. I forgot his name, and I said, "Go Army." And he said, "Beat Navy." And for me to see the same police officer last night during this tragic time, God sent. And so he said, "Let me get my kit." He ran back to his vehicle and he secured his K9. He got his kit, came back over, and by that time I had collapsed with him. And right before Paul's front door, about 15 feet from my front door, and she was gone. She said, and I heard something like somebody was eating some broken candy, like I think it's called a death rattle. And I laid her head down on the sidewalk, and she was gone. If your parents, your mom or dad live alone, check on them. My dad died in my arms September 16th, 2000, of a massive coronary. I broke his ribs doing CPR. You get one mother, one heart, one life, one brain, one liver. Our mothers hold our hands for just a little while, but they hold our hearts forever. So last night I was sitting here like 2 in the morning, close to 2, and I saw lights pull up, and I looked out. It was her granddaughter and a little 2-year-old great grandbaby. And she was standing outside crying, and I walked out. Her name is Crystal. And she said she's going to clean up the blood. I said, no, I still got the palm print on my door. And so we went in the house. There's a palm print right there by the door as she was going out. There's a palm print of blood in her house on the way out and one on my front door. And so we prayed and went in every room and prayed. And she fell, and she just kneeled down in the blood. It was blood everywhere in the house, in the kitchen, the living room, a station where she cleaned her stone out. And blessed of God to help her. She'll say, "Put your hand right here." And she'll finish dressing it, and if your mom or dad live by themselves, don't find them dead. Our mothers and our dads hold our hands for just a little while, but they hold our hearts forever. So check on your mom, check on your dad. I lit a candle and we prayed, and I closed the door. And I just went over and just shoveled the sidewalk and cleaned off her car one last time. Pray for that family, because a lot of guilt is going to hit the family. Pray for the sons. I've never seen either one over there. I'm not calling them out, but I've never seen either one over there in 10 years of shoveling and salting. I've never seen one son. God bless you, Mother Betty. I miss you. And I love you. Check on your parents. Don't think they're okay because you don't hear from them. Check on them and make sure you hear from them. God bless you, Mother Betty. Rest in peace.